You're listening to
Super, whatever the infernal thing is.
SuperCaliFragilistic Awesome Disney Podcast. Each week, we're going to talk about three things. In Main Street USA, we'll talk about the latest Disney news.
A princess must be knowledgeable about her kingdom.
In Tomorrowland, we'll talk about the things we're looking forward to.
And yet change mocks us with her beauty.
And World Showcase is dedicated to our favorite Disney adventures.
Are you just trying to get me to talk about myself? Because if you are, I will gladly do so. In song form.
So let's get this show on the road.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's show. This is Chris.
And I'm Kelly.
Okay, so thanks for joining us. Just like last week, we got a note about Patreon.
Yeah, just a couple of really quick reminders. So the Patreon page is up and running. As a reminder, you can join now for as little as $3 a month, and you'll be a founding member. Your membership fee will never go up, and you will always get top-tier benefits.
Because we're going to blow up. You're going to want to be in there. And what about Where Is It Wednesday?
Yes, so we will be drawing our first winner for Where Is It Wednesday tomorrow. Remember, that contest happens on Instagram. So join us on the Insta, and we will be drawing the winner. And then on Wednesday, we will launch the September contest.
Yes. So and if you don't win the prize tomorrow, you're still in the running for the annual prize that'll be drawn at the end of our year of doing these.
Absolutely. And that's been a fun time.
Yeah,
so
enjoyed that.
Yes.
Okay, so some entertainment news. First, a correction from last week. We talked about the Owl House, which was celebrating their first bisexual lead character in a cartoon show. I said that it was on Disney Plus. It's not actually on Disney Plus. It's on the Disney Channel. So wherever you can get the Disney Channel, you can check out the Owl House. Raya and the Last Dragon announced a new lead for their lead actress for their lead character, Raya.
Okay.
It had originally been Cassie Steele. That's what they announced last year at D23. No real reason why she's not the lead anymore, but super excited about Kelly Marie Tran, who's been cast as the lead role. She is famous for playing Rose in a couple of the most recent Star Wars movies. She sort of had a thing for Finn in the Star Wars movies. Loved her character. Okay. Love her. She's fantastic, and she deserves it. She got a lot of crap from like internet trolls on Instagram for being, I don't know, they didn't like her in Star Wars, and so that's garbage.
So remind us again, though, that this Raya movie was supposed to be based in Southeast
Asia. Yeah.
Right.
And so she's Vietnamese.
She's Vietnamese, so great casting.
Yep.
Okay.
And Awkwafina is going to play Sisu. She's a dragon trapped in human form who needs Raya's help in restoring her to her full power as a true dragon.
All right.
So that's the story there. Yeah. It wouldn't be a Main Street segment if we didn't have something about Mulan. So I think I'm going to make that on purpose. I'm going to try to come up with a Mulan every week now. But they announced that in December, if you don't want to pay the money on Friday, in like just a few days, it streams on Disney Plus. If you don't want to pay the money, it'll hit Disney Plus for free in December.
Right. I saw that. Yeah. Just as a heads up, I'm going to do something really fun with the intros for September in honor of Mulan. So you don't have to mention her in all the news segments.
Good.
She's going to be there.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Haunted Mansion is getting a new live action movie.
So interesting.
Yeah. I think they listened to your segment last week.
Because the first one was not that great.
It was not that great. So this one is very early production. Katie Dippold, I don't know if I'm saying that name right, is set to write the story. She has written for Parks and Recreation. She wrote The Heat. Remember The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock? And she also wrote the Ghostbusters, the all-female cast Ghostbusters movie.
Okay.
So she's on to write the new Haunted Mansion movie. It'll be produced by the guys Dan Lin and Jonathan Eyrick, who did Aladdin, the live-action Aladdin. Okay, so in the parks, the booths that we mentioned from the festival that were not open,
they're open,
are now open.
Yes, I saw
so
that
online. The Food and Wine Festival has now opened up the Alps booth.
Some of the stuff looks great. Yes, the
cannot wait
pictures
to
I've
try
seen.
this.
Yes.
So these guys specialize in Swiss cheese raclettes. Do you know what a raclette is?
I don't, but it sounds great.
This is like
is that
taking-
a rack of Swiss cheese?
This is taking like basically a wheel of cheese that's been cut in half and holding it directly under a really smoking hot heat source. And it literally just melts the top layer of the cheese wheel.
Yeah.
And then they pull it out
And then?
and they just use a knife to scrape that top layer of toasty charred cheese right off onto whatever they're serving it on. And it's usually like
Don't say meat. Don't say meat. Don't say
baby
meat.
potatoes.
Okay.
Baby potatoes, and they serve it with like cornichons, which are like pickles and baguettes.
I'm for it.
Yeah, they also have a version with ham, but
Of course they do.
they also have a blueberry almond frangipane tart and some frozen rosé there.
Man, the frosé is huge.
Yeah, it is. Spain is the other one. They have a cup that's like a charcuterie cup.
I saw that.
But what I'm really most excited about there is the paella. They serve paella with chorizo and shrimp. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Really excited about that. Okay, the yacht club is officially open for guests to go stay there. That's always been one of our favorite places. We loved the yacht club. Just like everything else, not quite everything is open at the resort. You can still you can go get reservations at the Beaches and Cream Soda Shop.
It's a limited menu, though, is what
It's
I
a
saw.
limited menu,
Yeah.
but it is just about everywhere right now. They suggest reservations there, but they do have a walk-up window to get ice cream there.
Okay.
That's where they have the kitchen sink sundae.
Right.
Ale and Compass is open for lunch and dinner. The Ale and Compass Lounge is open from 4 to 11, and Hurricane Hannah's Waterside Bar.
Okay.
Fall decor and goodies has hit the parks.
Has, I saw
so
that.
really excited about that.
That's exciting.
And unless you've been hiding out somewhere, you've probably heard that we lost Chadwick Boseman this weekend.
Right.
And it's just an amazing actor. He helped us relate to larger than life figures like Jackie Robinson and Thurgood Marshall. Of course, he brought us all the Black Panther, which really impacted the world in ways that a single movie really isn't expected to impact us, right?
Yeah.
Especially a superhero movie.
I know.
Right. So, like everyone else, we grieve for his family and friends, and frankly, we grieve for all of us that won't get to see what this young guy was going to be doing in the future, At SCF ADP here, we feel a special kinship to Mr. Boseman because he's from our home state of South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's a proud sandlapper. He actually grew up in Anderson, where you grew up,
I
right?
was in Anderson County. He went to T.L. Hanna High School. They were in our district.
Yeah,
So
you guys played
we
T.L.
played
Hanna?
T.L. Hanna. They were significantly
And you
larger
were the same
than us.
age.
Oh my goodness, we were exactly the same age.
He was in school when you were, probably.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, no. So no, it's crazy to think that he's from Anderson, South Carolina.
So just to honor Mr. Boseman's life and legacy, we have donated some money to the Colorectal Cancer Alliance and Black Lives Matter, two
Right.
things that were very important to him.
Yes.
And so if you'd like to join us in that effort, we will post links to both those organizations where you can donate
in the
our
show
show
notes.
notes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and so that's really our Main Street USA for this week.
Excellent. Well, I'm super excited about Tomorrowland, so
All
we can
right,
hit that.
let's rock it.
Can I just say though, first of all, you didn't comment on my ears.
Man, and I should have too. I'm a wretch. I don't know what to tell you. They're smoking though.
They're good,
They
right?
are.
So Minnie has launched a line, specific Minnie Mouse ears that are ride specific, and so these are the Enchanted Tiki Room ears. And I don't want to downplay you in your classic Mickey T. You also look fantastic. But so Minnie has launched these. She's got lounge fly bags. She's got, other types of purses.
What I love is that the headband is looks like it's made out of hemp or something.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
She's got stuffies. She's got ears. And so I got these online this past week. And they wouldn't let me get more than one. So they had Dumbo. They had Haunted Mansion. I mean, you have no idea how close I came to buying $60 Haunted Mansion ears on eBay. I've really bought into the ear thing since we've launched the pod, and
I love it.
I know. So I was glad that I snagged these, but from what I hear at the parks, they're going
Like hotcakes.
Just like hotcakes, yes, absolutely.
Well,
But anyway,
I'm going to make a note for next week. I won't forget that next week.
Thank
Ears,
you.
man.
I put so much
Because you put a lot of effort into it.
selecting the ears.
I know you do.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into Tomorrowland, which I am excited about this week.
Okay.
So it wasn't my initial plan, but once I started digging into it, I really want to do this. So as a reminder, the Tomorrowland segment is things we have not done at Disney, but we want to. And so we have talked about this, about doing like a nighttime event at Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. So Animal Kingdom has some things, like they have a Harambe market thing. It's called Circle of Flavors. It's based off the Lion King and around like 5 animals. It's a progressive dinner that moves from the train station to Rafiki's Planet Watch and ends at Harambe Market.
Oh, interesting.
And at each place, there's like small bites and different drinks.
This is at night.
This is at night. This is at night at Animal Kingdom. It's $199 for adults, $99 for kids. So it's not a cheap thing. But what I will say is, I mean, you get a significant amount of food here. I mean, you're eating at each location. When you come back to Harambe Market, they basically have a little meal for each of the 5 animals.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
So originally I was going to go there, but then I thought, I wasn't feeling that. I just wasn't feeling it, but I still want to do some kind of a nighttime thing at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
So they have another one that I've decided we need to do.
Okay.
And it's called Savor the Savanna, an evening safari experience.
Oh, I'm feeling that.
Right? Okay. So here's a great thing about it. First of all, it's $169. The children have to be at least 8-year-old to go. Okay. So they advertise it as being for tweens, teens, and adults. Right, so we're not talking about the smaller children. They're not passing out bags with apple slices.
Okay.
Okay. One thing that I didn't realize on these little tours is DVC members, annual pass holders, and Visa credit card holders often get 15% off on these tours. Last year, DVC members in February and March got 30% off of this Savor the Savanna tour.
Oh, no.
Yes. So that did me
nice.
there this coming February and March if they did that. So here's the cool part about it is you're in a different type of van or truck, whatever you want to call them. Other than the regular Kilimanjaro safaris, you're not sitting in rows. You're sitting almost in like a U-shape, sort of like the Jungle Cruise, but without the big stuff in the middle. Now, what people say is it's actually harder to sit that way. It's a rougher ride. And if you get even a little bit car sick, don't go on it.
Don't do it.
Because you're not facing forward and it's bumpy and all that kind of stuff. But the cool part is you don't board where everybody else boards. You board separately. And they take you on a different tour through the Savannah. You have a tour guide in the back with you. So there's a driver and then there's a tour guide. And he asks, what do you want to see? And he can lean through the window and tell the guy, go left up here, go right up here. We need to go see blah, blah, blah. We need to go see blah, blah, blah. So it truly is sort of a personalized experience.
Sounds really cool.
So a lot of the videos that I watched online showed the truck that you're in for the Savor the Savanna. And you can see all of the typical Kilimanjaro safaris trucks going by, right? So you're going on a slower trip, and you're not on that same road.
On that same road.
They're all on, right? And so you get to see sort of different things, a different perspective than the Kilimanjaro Safaris tour.
Yeah.
But also you get to speak to one of the animal keepers. So it's built in as part of the tour. They drive up and you get to see the animal, the keeper feeding the animal.
Oh, no
and
kidding.
then you can ask the keeper as many questions as you want. And so one of the videos I watched, the keeper was feeding the giraffe and she was talking about, this is a girl. Her name is Lucy. Over here is Ben. He's, our big guy. Back there is so-and-so. He's 4 years old. He could get to be up to 19 feet tall.
How long is this tour?
It's long. It's significant. So it looks like a lot of them leave around 4, and when they come back, it's about sunset. Now, of course, that's different. But if you're thinking, March or whatever, the sun would set by 6.
Yeah.
6-ish. So anyway, so it's a pretty significant tour.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say they spent 20 minutes there talking to the animal keeper, and she was phenomenal. And she's not the only one. Like, other people have done reviews saying talking to the keeper was just amazing with so much information. Then they take you to this little covered area called Boma. Now, I've seen this.
Oh, this is a restaurant at one of the resorts.
No, they call this the most... no, it's not.
Okay.
But they call this the most exclusive restaurant on Disney property.
Oh, wow.
So I know what you're thinking, but this is just a covered shelter.
Okay.
Okay, not a full restaurant. So this is a covered shelter with 2 restrooms, tables, chairs, a bar. And so when you pull up, the truck stops, everybody gets off. And you go in, have drinks, wine, beer, water, juice, whatever. And they've got a buffet of food sitting out. Now, it's not like a full meal, but some of the stuff that I saw, grapes, shrimp, huge shrimp, tons of cheeses, like really big, huge cheese wedges. I zoomed in on that.
Love a cheese.
Nuts, prosciutto, edamame, beautiful desserts, pitas, breadsticks. And one reviewer said that cast members had options or answers for any food needs, any food allergy, any food needs, or whatever. So I wouldn't call it a massive buffet, but I would call it a really nice, leisurely stop where you're basically just enjoying a glass of wine and some cheese
in the savannah,
in the middle of the savannah, and you can still see animals like going by. This is kind of why we've always talked about staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge or Wilderness Lodge, or whichever one of them is. You get to see the savannah from the room.
Yeah. It's the Animal Kingdom resorts.
Because the idea is you get to see the savannah like during... during the evening time when you might... Right.
When they say the animals are more active.
And there's kind of a little walkway you can go down to see some of the other parts of the savannah or whatever. It just looks very relaxing.
That is really cool. I had no idea about this.
I know. So let me tell you, I'm going to read a little bit about what's on the Disney website. It says you get special access to the savannah. Your safari begins with a journey deep into the heart of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. As the evening awakens, you'll soon find yourself within one of the most secluded and breathtaking private viewing areas the savannah has to offer. And so the guide walks you through everything. It's just amazing what all you get to see.
We've got to do it.
And it seems so relaxed.
Yeah.
And that's what I think spoke to me.
Because you run through the parks.
You do. And so you and I talked about next time not doing that, just eating our way through the park, specifically at Animal Kingdom, which is a much more relaxing thing. And if we were to do that, then we could do this. Yeah. And it's not a massive dinner.
Right. Well, and, on the Kilimanjaro Safari ride, You're going through the savannah pretty quick. I mean,
pretty fast.
And so it's like, look over here. So there's some giraffes.
They'll barely stop.
Yeah,
for
look
a
over
photo.
here for that cow with the enormous longhorns.
Yes, no, here they absolutely come to a full and complete stop as many times as you want to take pictures.
That's awesome.
Yes, no, it's just it looks like, and they advertise it as an adult thing.
Okay,
that it's a way to get away from the hustle and bustle of the park. And just kind of have a very chill evening.
And sort of feel like you're in nature, too.
Yes. I think I would really enjoy just having a glass of wine and some cheese in the savannah.
Yes. Right. With a lion? For sure.
I don't know that I want to have it with the lion.
That's awesome. I think we should do it.
Yeah, I'm for it. So it is $169, but we can look out for some of the discounts.
Yeah, for sure.
See?
I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So I'm for it.
Good job.
All right. Take us to World Showcase.
You got it. Okay. So, World Showcase this week, I decided to go with a movie. I was playing sort of Disney Plus roulette the other night, and I landed on what happens to be probably my favorite Pixar movie. Okay. WALL-E.
Oh, I struggle to watch WALL-E.
Do you?
It's so sad.
It's not. There's way sadder.
WALL-E, he doesn't even speak, and he makes me want to cry.
I know. Isn't that something? It's amazing how they do that. This was the 9th. By the way, a lot of the information I got from this, all the information I got came from fandom.com, the Disney wiki there.
Okay.
We'll have the links on the show notes. This is the 9th film in the Pixar world. It came out in 2008. It was written and directed by Andrew Stanton. He did Finding Nemo. So, he's doing all right.
Yeah, I know.
He's doing pretty well.
Pretty decent career.
Yeah. I think he's gonna do okay.
He should be fine.
So, I feel like it's like this really underrated film in the Pixar world. But I'm not right about that. It won an Oscar for like best animated feature that year. It was up for like 4 or 5 other Oscars for various things, sound effects and whatnot. So, I decided, no, this thing is underrated. I'm committed to this being underrated.
It's definitely underrated in the parks. You don't see a lot of Wall-E merch.
That's exactly where I ended up going because I looked for proof online.
No Wall-E ride.
I said, rank the Pixar movies. I Googled rank that. Vulture.com actually ranked all 22 movies, and Wall-E was their number 1 movie. So
it is a great movie.
Yep. And Rotten Tomatoes actually had it number 12. But even at number 12, it had a 95% approval on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, no,
so the Pixar movies just do really well there.
They do, yeah.
So I think I came back to, well, maybe it's just lack of representation in the parks. That's why I think it's underrated. And sure enough, Toy Story has an entire land. Cars has an entire land at California Adventure. Merida we see a lot. She's got even a showcase now in the cavalcades. We saw Joy from Inside Out frolicking at Epcot.
No, but how would you merch Wall-E?
It's hard.
Trash?
It's hard.
Here's a ride where you get to stack up little blocks of trash. I mean, how do you merch that?
Yeah, the Living Seas got rebranded as Nemo. Incredibles have an awesome coaster. Ratatouille's got rides. Bugs Life and Mike and Sully all have attractions. Wally and Eve do make an appearance at the World of Color show out in Disneyland. And apparently they used to have an animatronic Wally that would run around the parks.
Oh, now see, that would be
but
cute.
He was really heavy, and they were worried about him running over people's feet. I'm not joking.
Oh.
So, I think this is one of the most original films Pixar or Disney has ever put out. I mean, there's no dialogue for like the first half hour, and by the end of the first half hour, you're just in love with this little robot guy. So let's talk about assuming that there's somebody out there who has not seen WALL-E or is just, it's just not their thing. This movie is set many, many years into the future, and basically through mass consumerism, we destroyed the earth with trash and waste. If only we could.
How many years into the future?
Could we have seen that coming? I don't know how many years into the future it really
You're talking
is.
2020,
it might be
2021.
Might be a couple years from now.
I mean, we've still got a couple of months left to destroy the world in 2020.
Right. By and large, is this mega company in this setting that has basically privatized the entire world, all governments, everything. Basically, the CEO of the company runs the Earth. Humans have been asked to leave the Earth, while by and large tries to clean it up, and they use these little robots like WALL-E to clean it up. Humans are supposed to be on these awesome luxury. They're like luxury liner cruise ships, except in space, for just a few years while they clean up the Earth, and then they come back. But what they don't realize is that we don't find out till later in the movie is that the company has said, as a secret directive, you can never come back to Earth. It's a lost cause. You can never come back. But none of the humans on the ship realize that. So, fun fact, that secret directive is labeled A113, A113, which is it's the classroom that a lot of the Pixar artists used to learn in back at CalArts. So the humans end up living the sweet life on this luxury yacht for over 700 years. They were only supposed to be gone for a few years.
Wow.
Only WALL-E is left to clean up the Earth. There was actually a lot of him, but he's the only one that we'll say is still working.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say that they all died, but whatever. So WALL-E's job is to clean up the Earth. WALL-E, by the way, stands for Waste Allocation Load Lifter Earth Class. Okay, he's a boxy little skid steer. He was modeled after an inkjet printer, actually.
Aww.
And his eyes, Andy the guy that directed it, got the idea. He was at a baseball game and he used a pair of binoculars, and that's where he got the idea for.
His eyes are amazing.
Just so expressive.
His eyes are what really kills you.
So he scoops the trash into his belly. He compacts it into squares, and he builds these skyscrapers out of it. Right. His voice came from Ben Burt, who also did the voice for R2D2.
Aww.
Yeah. He's really sweet. He collects all these things, right? Rubik's Cubes, light bulbs, the things that he doesn't want to trash. He's got an old VHS video that plays Hello Dolly all the time. He's got a little cockroach friend named Hal. Hal is a throwback. He actually doesn't have a name in the movie, but the Pixar team called him Hal. That's a throwback to Hal Roach, who was the producer of Our Gang and the Little Rascals and the Laurel and Hardy movies.
Oh, wow.
Also a throwback to the 2001 A Space Odyssey, the murderous computer Hal. And then Eve arrives. Eve is a robot that's designed. Eve stands for, by the way, it's extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator. Her job is to come to Earth and look for life form, look for living plants and whatnot, because if a plant can grow, then Earth can sustain life again. And her directive is to find whatever she can find, take it back to the ship, and the ship will say Earth can support life again, and it'll bring all the humans back. Okay, but Wally immediately falls in love with her, and because she's curvy,
She's so beautiful.
she's very sleek. She is a Mac.
She's supposed to be a Mac.
And he's
Poor Wally's
definitely a PC. He charges up his batteries by opening up a solar panel, and his little charger gets full.
It's really cute.
So he takes her back to his little home where he's got all of his little knickknacks and things that he's collected. She scans the plant and immediately shuts down. There's all these cute little scenes of him trying to figure out how to wake her up, but really she's just waiting on her ship now to come and take her back to the mothership so that she can save humanity. At this point, we race up to the ship. Wally follows her there up to the luxury liner, and then adventure ensues as Wally is doing everything he can to get Eve to fall in love with him while also helping her fulfill her directive. There are robots on the ship, though, that don't want them to do that because they've got this secret directive from the company.
Right.
The interesting thing about this movie is that there are no real antagonists. Everybody's doing their job. Except,
that's interesting.
Right? I mean, even the robots on the ship, Otto, who is the robotic steering wheel, autopilot.
Oh, gosh. It's been so long since I watched this movie.
I know. He's trying to, keep the humans there because he thinks that they'll die if they go back to Earth.
Right.
And so we get to see how Wally, what lengths Wally will go to help Eve save humanity.
Right.
And it's just, I think my favorite scene is this one when they're out in space and because the robots that are trying to keep the humans there do some pretty terrible things to try to keep the plant from making it. And they kind of shoot Wally out into space, and Eve's trying to save him and all this. And they end up doing this space dance thing that is just beautiful on a screen. I could watch it over and over again. You can find that scene on YouTube. I love it. They're flying in and out of the jet engines of the ship, and he's using a fire extinguisher to propel himself until it runs out of juice, and then he just sort of lets it go, and he's just floating until Eve catches him. I love that scene. I love it. So
cute.
This movie, I think, is just one of my all-time favorite. I wish they could figure out a way to bring this to the parks. They used to have a robotic trash can named Push that was so much fun to interact with. I wish they could figure out a way to do this with Wally. He is just an adorable little guy. And I don't know how they are constantly making these what should be inanimate, unlovable looking things have so much expression and feeling in there.
It's amazing.
Isn't it?
It's so amazing. And that's it. That's why I can't watch Wally. Because he just makes me so sad. He makes me so sad.
Well, he shouldn't, because he saves all of us.
I know, but it's just the same reason I've never watched, what's the one with the feelings? Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah.
I've never watched
that one, too. I'm almost scared to watch that one.
I know.
But
we saw Joy dancing in the grass, and I thought, good for her. I love Joy. I don't want to see your movie. Hey, Joy.
Well,
and then I'll walk on.
I love Wally. Wally's one of my favorites. It's a beautiful movie, I think. So
yeah, I don't want to cry at a Disney movie like that.
Well, don't watch a Pixar one then. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's my World Showcase.
That was fantastic. That's awesome.
Okay, well, that's our show for this week.
We hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we did.
And you know what? If you did enjoy it, and even if you didn't, subscribe to us on iTunes. leave us a rating, leave us a review. Tell us if we're good or bad. It really helps us.
It does. And if you're looking for more things Disney, please visit scfadp.com. That's scfadp.com. S for Super, C for Cali, F for Fragilistic, A for Awesome, D for Disney, P for Podcast. This week, we're updating our podcast with some transcripts, and working on some really cool changes on our YouTube page.
That's right. Keep an eye out for all of that on our website. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, SuperCaliFragilistic Awesome Disney Podcast. Join us also for the daily conversations on Instagram or Twitter. Our handle everywhere is SCFADP. Invite your friends. The more the merrier.
Yes, we would love to hear from you.
And with that, we hope to see you real soon.